All right. Welcome in. We are the best air band out there this side of the Mississippi.
Seriously.
And this side of the Mason-Dixon line too. So anyway,
Wild Stallions. Oh, never mind.
Before we move on, I'm just going to let the audience know that, right before we always come in, we had that intro. And every week, Steve says like 10 seconds or 5 seconds. And Corey's talking up into and past that point every single week. He does not shut up even on the show.
So I'm not. So you're saying I'm the same guy off air that I am on?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Makes me 100% genuine, right? I just don't shut up.
Right.
And then I turn my brain off, and then you're wondering if I'm still breathing sometimes. So it's all good, man. Welcome to SEC After Dark. That is Jake Thomas. That paid me. I think that was a compliment. Jeb Beecham and Stephen Willis. Welcome, boys. It is on. We got a lot to talk about here. We got quarterbacks and coaches, and John Calipari and Kentucky basketball is always fun. And
wow.
I want to bring up something tonight that I interviewed Jake Crane today, J-Boy.
Yeah.
Talked to him a little bit. And it's about the blissful ignorance of the media trying to talk about football. They want to talk about anything but football. Anything but football is what they do. They want because they can't understand actual football. So we'll get to that a little bit.
That sounds possible.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds possible. So before we get into any of that, wanted to let you guys know we were presented by DeadSoxy. If you want some really cool looking socks while supporting Ole Miss NIL and raising our status as one of the best Ole Miss podcasts somehow,
Right.
From FeedSpot.
There's not many of them.
According to feedspot.com, we're number 3. Thank you. So make sure you go to DeadSoxy.com, buy yourself some socks. They don't have to be just Ole Miss socks, but you can get some pretty sweet Lane Train socks that Steve's holding up right there. They come in a cool box too. Yes. You can get you a set of 7, one for every day of the week. Wash and repeat. All you got to do is go to DeadSoxy and join as a member. You get 25% off of that purchase and free shipping. Who doesn't want that? So visit DeadSoxy.com and remember the phrase stay soxy. And Steve, before you tell me about some pickles, before you lecture me on refrigerating my pickles, we're not going to make any betting lines tonight, but if we did, it would be presented by betonline.ag, your number one source for all your sports wagering needs. If you want to bet it, they probably have it at betonline.ag, including an online casino. So what you need to do, go to the website, betonline.ag, enter the promo code Bleav, that's BLEAV, to get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline.ag, it's where the game starts. Pickles.
Do you know what time it is?
Pickles.
It is time to get locked on pickles, everybody. Stewart's Cajun Pickles, that is. They offer a variety of Cajun spice products like pickles, green beans, okra, even carrots, and asparagus. It's a family-owned company, homemade on the coast of Mississippi. You can find these pickle products online at pickledstore.com or at your local Rouse's Market or other Gulf Coast Southern stores near you. Be sure to like Stewart's Cajun Dill product on Facebook and Instagram. Try these pickles, okra, and beans today. You will not be disappointed. Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles, the South's favorite pickle.
All right, the South's favorite pickle. Speaking of someone that's in a pickle, or was in a pickle, I should say. He's not anymore because now he is since joined the Arkansas Razorbacks. Woo Pig Suey.
Wow.
John Calipari didn't like being on shaky ground in Kentucky. Saw the writing on the wall, obviously. The only reason they didn't fire him is because they didn't feel like drumming up the $75 million it would have taken to fire him. And he is now on to Arkansas. Kentucky fans are doing backflips. Bama fans are doing backflips because Nate Oates has committed, I think. And so first off, Calipari to Arkansas, how does that news hit you? That's just weird to me. But I think Arkansas got a good one there because he's kind of what a program like Arkansas needs to kind of get them over the hump a little bit.
They on Twitter, somebody posted like an Arkansas fan and a Kentucky fan was going at it, as fans in the SEC are prone to do.
No, they don't.
And Arkansas says hiring John Calipari is proof that Arkansas has passed Kentucky since 2020. Arkansas has been to 2 Elite Eights and a Sweet 16, and Kentucky has not been to any of them. And the Kentucky fan said, "Okay, you got me there. Who was Kentucky's coach?" And that right there is enough to where you kind of think that, hey, I understand that this is a good hire for the Arkansas Razorbacks. I am not poo-pooing that. But you also have to understand, if you didn't fear Cal when he was at Kentucky, are you really going to fear him at Arkansas?
It's a good point. It's not like he went to a better situation where he can recruit better or anything like that. So
yeah.
He just saved his career, because I don't know that he would still be in basketball if he just got put out on his butt.
Mike White did the same thing when he went to Georgia. Literally the same thing. It was the same move.
And almost won the NIT.
Corey, you talked about how weird is it to see that?
Yeah.
Calipari was at Kentucky like half of my life. I mean, 15 years, and I'm 30. I'll be 33 in a few days. So, I mean, pretty much.
Man,
it's crazy.
I forget that you're such a young guy, Jake, because Kentucky in the 90s was so much fun.
Yeah, Rick Pitino.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
my
Pitino.
Goodness. He was Nate Oates before Nate Oates.
Right.
Especially that 96 team was really fun with Tony Delk.
Mm-hmm. Jamal Mashburn
in the denim uniforms. The 90s was really just fun basketball all around, because you had the running Rebels, you had Duke was at its height, North Carolina, with like Vince Carter and Antoine Jameson and Jerry Stackhouse and Eric Montross, Rasheed Wallace. You had Kentucky, who was at their height, UConn, Michigan State, Maryland.
UConn wasn't in their height until the 2000s.
No, but they were starting.
They were good. Yeah, Jim Calhoun had them going.
They were really competitive. They were fun to watch in March Madness, even though they just couldn't quite get over the hump yet. But 90s basketball was a lot of fun. And John Calipari in the 90s with Marcus Camby at UMass. That was always fun to watch. UMass versus UConn was always a fun battle.
The best one was John Calipari versus Temple. John Chaney and John Calipari hated each other.
Yeah, it went beyond the court, Jake. It was phenomenal.
Like John Chaney stormed into his press conference and tried to fight him one night.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And John Chaney was already like 175 years old at that point.
God.
He's old enough to be Bobby Knight's dad.
Steve looked at me and said, "Dang, you're old, man."
Yeah.
That's old.
Yeah.
Just like Bear Alexander moving 7 times in 7 years.
Arkansas, I don't think this is a Mike Anderson type deal. I don't think this is a John Pelfrey type deal. I think that Arkansas did hire a coach that will at least get them consistently where they kind of want to be. Now, is he worth $8 million or whatever that number is?
They're paying for the name.
Yeah, the happiest person at Arkansas when John Calipari got hired for that amount of money was Sam Pittman.
No, yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
He was like,
there's no buyout going to get paid anytime soon to Sam Pittman.
Yeah, Sam Pittman's like, "Oh yeah, we'll pick Soys, strike up that jukebox." Whatever else he says, yeah.
Play that damn jukebox.
Play that damn jukebox.
Yeah.
The pit boss is what they call him. So, of you 147 people out there listening, we have the chat going. It's live. It's rocking and rolling. We're talking Calipari and Arkansas basketball, but not for long, because what does Kentucky do now? What are their options, man? Like, it started out with Bruce Pearl, Nate Oates, and Mark Few, I think was a name. And I think they're over on that list.
Well, I work with a guy who's a Kentucky fan, and he has 3 guys that he wants. Not in this particular order, but he wants Billy Donovan, Rick Pitino back, or Scott Drew. Which Scott Drew is the one I've been seeing a lot here lately.
I think
that's pretty much even money at this point.
Yeah.
That's the one that's going to happen, I think.
Mhm.
If Rick Pitino is a shell of himself, I don't think they should.
Yeah. Mhm.
I think he's legit 82 years old, isn't he?
And
Yeah. He'd said just hire him a few years to let him go out in glory days, and then find somebody else.
I don't know if Rick Pitino can go back to the state of Kentucky, can he?
He might be banned from the state of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And isn't Billy Donovan bouncing around the NBA now?
He's with the Chicago Bulls.
The Chicago Bulls had one of the worst plays, NBA bloopers that I've ever seen. After this happened, where everybody said, well, that clinches it. Billy Donovan's going to take Kentucky's call now.
Oh,
So it just happened.
Yeah, a guy tried to alley-oop himself off the backboard. He was on a breakaway. He threw it off the glass, and he was going to go slam it in right there. His teammate jumped up and tried to catch it from him, and they ended up, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Billy Donovan walked off the court and was like, all right, put a Kentucky hat on and said, okay, here we go. See you. Bye.
Yeah, and by the way, Billy Donovan has come a long way from Billy the Kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. It's a long way from Billy the Kid. That's an old-looking man.
Yeah. He looks rough now.
Coaching in the NBA will age you.
Yeah.
Especially in Oklahoma City
Mm.
without the big three.
He's in Chicago.
Yeah, he's in Chicago. But he was at Oklahoma City.
He was in Oklahoma City before that. I think that's where he broke into the NBA with, right?
It was.
Yeah. But in Chicago, minus Jordan, they've been crap for 30 years at this point, right?
Mm-hmm. Since
They had a couple of good teams with Derrick Rose when he was in his prime, but of course he's taking hurt all the time.
Yeah, that's why they rose.
But they never really. I think they went to the conference semifinals like once.
Right.
Yeah.
Jordan left. They're bad. Like Jerry Krause is like, man, maybe I should get Jordan back. Jordan at 60 years old is probably better than half their roster right now.
Yeah, it probably is.
Jordan was like 61 years old. Have you seen video of this on Twitter? And like he went to the Bahamas and they were playing pickup, and he just went on the court and just started abusing people at 60 years old.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Oh God.
He's the GOAT. Anybody that says he's not the GOAT is incorrect.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
If you think LeBron is the GOAT, come at us.
If you think LeBron's the GOAT, don't even be on here. Log off.
No, because we want to like spot you so we can.
It would be closer if we were doing a LeBron Kobe discussion. It would be closer if that happened. Because even then, Kobe's not on Jordan's level.
Kobe's definitely not on Jordan's level, but no. No. I think who's number two then?
Larry Bird, obviously.
I was going to say Larry Bird does not get talked about.
No.
Although he had his commercial during March Madness for AT&T, Allstate was pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm glad he bought into the Mayhem franchise. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, now you're the bird in the attic.
Yeah.
No.
Is Kareem number two, you think?
No.
Magic?
No, not Magic.
I think Magic is better than Kareem.
Yeah,
Really?
I do too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Kareem was just really freaking tall. Magic was a 6'9" guy playing
really
point
good.
guard.
Mm-hmm.
What about Wilt?
Wilt, again, that was just an era. He was taller than everybody else in an era when you could just be taller than everybody else.
Didn't he have like 64 rebounds in the game or something like that?
He had 100 points in a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid stats.
Yeah.
And something like 50,000 women. I don't know. It was something ridiculous. I'm just saying. The guy was a hero.
Once drank 66 beers on a cross-country flight. No, that was Andre the Giant.
Oh, yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't Wade Boggs?
Well.
Definitely. According to Game Day, it's Wade Boggs.
Yeah.
According to College Game Day. Those signs, if it's on a sign at Game Day, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's an episode of Always Sunny about that.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably where they got it from.
Maybe number two needs to be the guy who is like best friends with a dictator, and that's Dennis Rodman.
Oh, Lord.
No, Dennis Rodman couldn't score enough to be number two on that list.
No, but he
Yeah.
can rebound like crazy.
He was an amazing defender, yes.
Yeah.
He's nowhere close to number two on the list, though. But
It was a joke, fellas.
I know.
It was a poor one, but it was a joke.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have your humor, Steve.
Is that Stephen Willis or Dave Chappelle? I can't tell.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
only,
No,
you're only a quarter of his age, man. Give it time.
yeah,
Jake just needs more reps.
yeah. I need a lot more seasoning.
Jake is the young gun. He just needs some more reps.
I got about 85 years to catch up with Steve. So
There you go.
mhm.
I'm halfway.
Well,
So Kentucky getting Scott Drew before we got off on our tangent. What is what is like? I think that's happening. I like Scott Drew.
I do too, but
Yeah, I do too.
that's basically like just hiring Cal again.
Yeah, that's
Are they okay with that?
he probably went like
got
one of
right?
the top 3 that they wanted.
I guess they got to be right.
I mean, Calipari got beat
No,
in the
Kentucky,
championship
yeah.
game at Memphis because he was
Mhm.
hired from Memphis to go to Kentucky. Scott Drew won one NCAA title at Baylor, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
They both recruit pretty well.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
Calipari's recruiting philosophy is collect as many one and dones as possible. I don't know
Yeah.
that Scott Drew quite has that philosophy, but I think he'd be slightly better than Cal, but not much, I don't think. If they can get Billy Donovan, that's a coup right there. I think that's the answer. If they can do it. I'm not sure they can do it, but I think that's got to be how you roll.
Did you hear that Kentucky supposedly offered $11 million a year, more money than Kirby Smart makes, to Danny Hurley?
No,
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
that would be ridiculous money.
Shh.
And it was like, do you realize this is basketball, right?
Yeah, that's a
Kentucky's,
couple million a year more than Bill Self makes.
Kentucky's like, and
Yeah, it was like 11 million or something like that. They offered Dan Hurley. I heard.
they need to
Yeah.
go after Matt Painter so they can get Zach Edey in the transfer portal.
He's done. I
It's like
think
he's
he's
like a 7th-year senior. or
yeah,
something like that?
he's done.
The NCAA will find a way to give him an 8th year when he's going to go to Kentucky.
You're probably right about that.
By the way, real quick, this is a question that my lovely wife brought up, and wanted me to ask you guys about it on today's show. And she said that South Carolina's women's team went 38-0, won the national championship,
Okay.
and all we hear about is Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, it's even worse than that. If you talk about anything else, you get talked about it as hating on Caitlin Clark
Right.
because you're not talking about her. I've seen that pop up several times here recently of people complaining about how apparently she's getting all this hate now because they're talking about how good South Carolina is. It just makes no sense.
Caitlin Clark's good, but South Carolina, I think I heard during that game, replaced 4 of their 5 starters last year. They're all like sophomore or something like that.
Don Staley is a phenomenal coach. That
so-
team, that's a program because they've been successful for quite a while.
She's like the women's basketball Phil Jackson.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and
amazing.
somebody mentioned that about Purdue's player as well, but it's the same thing with Caitlin Clark. Purdue man's Edie, is that his name? Well, whatever.
Yeah,
Same thing with Caitlin Clark, though. She probably was the best player on that court in that game. The next 5 best players were all on South Carolina's team.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just going to win.
Well, that
It's a
Gabby Marshall
team
player,
sport. Yeah.
Yeah. It's no I in team.
Yeah.
so-
And
and it is
I've
amazing
been
what she's
watching
done.
MLS soccer since it started, since it
WBO?
became a thing.
Yeah.
Since Zach Thornton was playing goal for the Chicago Fire. There we go. When David Beckham got to the league, there were broadcasts that 15 and 20 million people, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, soccer has arrived. We've completely changed everything." And then whenever David Beckham left or wasn't playing in the game and nobody was watching the game anymore. And we need to understand and not fall into this trap again, that just because a game has excellent ratings, which it undoubtedly did.
because Caitlin Clark versus the best team in college basketball.
Yeah.
But it does not represent a sea change
No,
in the whole sport. Now,
no.
if 20% of the people that watch the game come back, that's a win. but do not expect next year to have 19 million fans for the final. And also, by the way, the final was on ABC at 3:00 in the afternoon on Sunday for the women's game. For the men's game, it was like 10 o'clock at night on TBS.
Yeah, I ain't watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if ESPN wants to capitalize on that, they need to start turning their marketing efforts towards South Carolina. I mean, 38-0 is pretty dang impressive.
It's also pretty routine.
Well, yeah.
And that's the
That's
problem
even-
I have with women's basketball is
That's routine for them.
they need to have upsets. They just don't do that.
Mm.
Generally, the higher seed team is going to win. I mean, your brackets for a women's tournament is going to be a lot more spot on than for guys every time.
In the name of equality, it's got to look exactly like the men's tournament looks. But the reality is, the women's tournament should be 16 teams. If it was a 16-team tournament, it would be so good.
I agree.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can
You'd
see
get
that.
some good competitive basketball. You'd probably get some pretty decent ratings on that.
And if you're talking about ratings, if you want, to capitalize on the ratings for the men's side, quit having every championship game on a Monday night. The college football playoff championship games on a Monday night. This was on a Monday night. I mean, who's up at those times watching those unless you're a diehard fan of those teams?
I didn't watch the game.
No,
I watched
The
second
basketball?
half. That's all I watched.
I didn't even cut it on. Yeah, the men's game, I did not even cut it on. I saw a little bit of South Carolina beat Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't turn it on either.
I saw 3 minutes of that, and I didn't even watch the championship game of the men's game at all because it didn't start until 9:30.
Right.
And it's almost impossible to watch a game that is set up in that environment.
Well, yeah, because I'm half asleep, and I was watching where I actually watched WrestleMania more than I did the tournament.
Talking about WrestleMania.
we're gonna move to that. Wait, what?
No.
Yeah, I did not watch that either. So, although I did hear that the Undertaker showed up and choke slammed The Rock, and I was like, "Is this 1997?"
Yeah, it was awesome.
Pretty
It was awesome.
much.
It was awesome.
Yeah, there was some fun stuff. Rey Mysterio. I don't think that dude ages, man. He's he doesn't age. That guy's impressive.
Did you see who come and helped him?
No.
Yeah,
Jason Kelce.
Jason Kelce and Lane Johnson, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was awesome.
it was.
Wearing luchador masks too. That was fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then Miz won a tag team title.
Yep. With R-Truth, who's been there like 30 years.
And welcome to WWE After Dark.
I did not when he first started wrestling think Miz was going to last that long. He is.
He's a character.
He's way outlived.
There's the what's the last letter of WWE stand for, Jeb?
Entertainment.
Right.
Guess what Miz does really well?
Used to be Federation, but whatever.
He entertains. He's really good on a mic. He's really good at cutting on promo, and he's a decent athlete.
He's done a great job. I'm not complaining about him. I'm just saying when he first came out, I had no expectations of him making it very long.
Yeah, because all you knew him from was Jake. The show. There's a show that used to be called The Real World.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and Miz was on it.
And I hated reality TV at that point. So
and he come in WWE doing the women's diva search. He was like the host of it.
Oh yeah, because he was a reality TV guy. So I'm sure he took time to really learn the wrestling. But but into his credit, he
wrestling,
did.
all right.
Yeah,
the diva search.
Another thing. Apparently, John Cena is going to do a comeback for about a year or something like that.
He said he's got commitments up until Christmas, and after that, he's going to make one more final run. So we'll see.
So it's Ernest saves WWE.
Well, Rock say WWE this year. So
yeah, they got what's with the new guys, man? They can't hold it, man. They can't hold the water. They got to rely on the old guys.
Well,
Come on, WWE.
The Rock that first night had an amazing that tag team match. Kind of helped him out because he wasn't doing all the shouldering himself, but he looked really good in it. Still looked like the old guy that used to be back in the 90s wrestling.
Roman Reigns, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's next? Stone Cold next year at WrestleMania?
He was there a few years ago.
Yeah, Stone Cold's knees. He can't run. He can't walk.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I didn't mean he's not going to give it a go.
Yeah.
He can come out and talk for sure.
I think the Undertaker said is like, I got one choke slam in me, have the ice bath ready.
Yeah. And they pretty much did. Probably he ran
gotta be in
out.
his 50s.
The ice.
He's probably in his 70s.
Oh, that dude's old as hell.
Yeah.
No, next year WrestleMania. Okay, they should hire me to plan this because next year we're going to do a match between Stone Cold and Triple H, and the winner just gets to sit in the ice bath.
Undertaker's 59 years old.
59. Okay, so I thought he was younger than people thought he was, but that's still old.
But
I mean, to be doing what he's doing.
Yeah, a lot of wear and tear on that body, though.
Yeah.
Hey, didn't Fallout come out today?
I think it did.
Tonight, I think. So, yeah, our show is messing it up.
Sorry if we're interrupting everybody's chance to watch Fallout.
Now I got to stay up all night long like I wasn't going to anyway.
Fallout.
You get more entertainment out of this than you would Fallout.
Yeah.
But I love that video game, Fallout 4.
Oh, man. Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas.
New Vegas, yeah, that was a great one, too. So
Yeah.
The Fallout's a video game? Is that what's coming out?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But the guy from Justified, the bad guy, I can't think of his name now.
Boyd?
Yes, yeah. He's the main character in it. So, and he's always great in everything he does. He was in The Shield, all kinds of great stuff.
I think it's going to be good. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the longest time, I thought his name was Walter Goggins, but it's apparently Walton.
Oh, Goggins, that's it.
Yeah.
I thought it was Walter, too.
Have you ever seen this show on HBO called Assistant Principals?
Yeah. Vice Principals, yes.
Vice Principals, yeah. Show's awesome.
I haven't seen it.
They only did
McBride.
Did they only do one season or two? Whatever it was, they didn't do it for very long.
That damn thing got canceled.
The righteous gemstones.
Yep, he's in that too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uncle Baby Billy.
He's just such a good character. In everything he does.
Louis Blevins say he lost his dog in Fallout 4.
Oh, dog meat.
Dog meat, yep.
I played a lot of that game for a while.
Too.
Travis T, we're gonna have a Discord or a Locked On Ole Miss NCAA 2025 community. Everybody join it. We can play each other. We get together. We're going to do that.
Wait, is that true? Did they announce the release date?
Yeah. It's going to be July 19th.
July 19th.
Oh, I missed that.
But you got to have a
crushing.
You got to have a current gen, PS5 or the Xbox Series X.
Since Locked On Ole Miss is crushing it, if I want to get in the tournament, will Locked On Ole Miss sponsor me a Xbox X, X
right?
Or something?
Yeah, I don't have one either.
An Xbox Degeneration X.
Yeah.
No, I ended up with a PlayStation 5 out of dumb luck. Like when they first came out and they were just impossible to get. I think I wandered onto a website just because they said they were going to release some later in the day, and I just wanted to see if I could set up so I could one-click order real fast. And they happened to release them right when I was doing that, and I was just able to buy one immediately.
Wow, that's
So
cool.
Jeb was wandering around on a website.
See, sometimes it pays off. I'm just saying.
Stop us when we've heard that before.
Yes. I got a PS5. I got viruses on my computer. Either way, it works. So I don't know.
All right. So, Jake, Steve was talking about this on his show earlier this week. I forget what day it was. This week is like 75 days long. But
yeah, no kidding.
But we're finally here.
I had an episode this week go over 3,000 views during the off season. So that's,
wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Okay. Congrats.
Thank you.
So Steve did an episode. This is an interesting topic. And I was going to tell you, I saw rankings of quarterbacks, and Vandy's quarterback was not the worst quarterback on the list, just so you know. And so Carson Beck was number 1, and Jackson Dart was number 4. So it was kind of a bunk list anyway. But Steve did one ranking head coaches in college football. There was a top 10, and Lane Kiffin was number 8. Kalen DeBoer was number 2.
I'm the one that brought this up in our chat.
Okay, I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
So I couldn't remember if I think both you and I, Jake. I think at some point, I think it was just a matter of who posted it first. But I was thinking because I texted Steve. I was like, I had a nice little text conversation with Steve about it.
Kalen DeBoer might be about to get Mike priced if he's not careful.
Oh, all that stuff that come out today.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You didn't say that?
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
If it was in any state outside of the deep South, he would have already been gone. He has a chance to survive because of where he is.
Oh, I heard about the player. I didn't know that had anything to do with him.
He's
UW
the one that
player.
let him
Oh,
play.
that.
Yeah, supposedly he let him come back and play the 2 playoff games.
Oh, the guy that rape chart. Oh, yeah, that's not good.
Grape.
Yeah.
You say grape.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's not a good look. Now, granted, like
Not
if you
good.
coach at Alabama, you got a chance to beat this. You got a chance to make it. It's not like you went and got a rogue lap dance on the government credit card.
Yeah, just don't take your company card to what's the strip club in Tuscaloosa, Jake?
I don't
It's
know.
not. It's not Tuscaloosa. It's Pensacola.
I've never been.
Oh.
For the record. Never.
On the record.
Mhm.
I
Never.
Cassidy, he's never been.
And,
I'm
no.
going
It's on the
back.
record.
I'm going back in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Congratulations.
Tell Coach DeBoer I said, hey, Steve, when you see him.
Tampa is the capital of daddy issues east of the Mississippi.
Although I went to
I
Cocoa
don't know,
Beach
dude.
last weekend for a birthday party, and that was
I
pretty
don't know. The
fun.
last time I was in Jacksonville, this was years ago, though, but the last time I was in Jacksonville, circa 2010, I have a feeling that
Let's just say Florida. Florida. More daddy issues than you would think.
That's a good point.
Florida, Jackson. So, do you guys know the comedian Dave Attell?
Yes.
Yes.
We were in the same place.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
I forget what it was called.
So Florida's got is the capital of daddy issues, the capital of the most pythons, and the capital of the most crocodiles and
But
alligators.
don't let these pythons in it. Oh, yeah.
There's
Do
a lot
not go
of
to
weird
Florida,
stuff going on in
somebody.
Florida.
Hey,
Yeah.
the last time I went to Tampa, I got lap dances from like Miss Nude Universe 2020.
Oh, yeah.
What in the world?
Kind of Playboy mate or something.
Yeah, Playmate. Playboy
Yeah.
Playmate.
Oh my god!
You're not getting that at Deja Vu.
Uh-huh. So I was like, hey, this is worth it. You're not dealing with like Crystal that's trying to beat crystal meth and
She's
There's
named after the drug she does.
Oh.
It's funny.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's why my girl's name was Molly. Huh. Didn't know that.
Louis O'Blevin's music says, haha, Tampa is a strip club capital. It absolutely is. And
Yeah.
jorts.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, Lord.
You wear jorts in Florida, by the way. With me and Jeb living in Florida, we can speak to this officially, and we understand the Florida jorts thing now. You don't wear long pants. I've worn long pants one day in the last 4 years. And so to mix it up, you can't wear the same thing every day. So jorts ends up in the rotation.
So, okay, all right, okay.
I did.
Let's unpack this a little bit. I can't think of a more, even though it looks completely and utterly goofy and ridiculous. Let's put that aside. But like, I can't think of a more uncomfortable attire for Florida weather.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
it's hot and
yeah.
sticky outside.
Oh my God, that sounds miserable.
Most of the time, I'm wearing my bird dogs now. Let's
Steve, you're not a jort wearer anyway.
Right.
yeah.
But like I'm wearing the thinnest golf pants possible. If I'm down there, like if I have to wear like actual nice, not pants, but like shorts. If I have to wear like actual shorts, or if God forbid I had to wear actual pants to work or something like
But
that. for the-
January, February, and March, it's like chilly shorts weather.
I'm wearing shorts and a
Yeah.
hoodie, like I do here. And that type
Yeah,
of
that would
weather.
work.
Now we have so it's a Florida winter right now in Tennessee.
Good grief. We have 232 people watching the show.
Thank you
We're
for your
number
commitment.
3 on the list.
They're gonna meet you in Tampa, Steve.
Seriously.
Just tell them where to go.
I'm telling, there's probably 10 to 15 strip clubs in Tampa alone.
Good lord!
Yeah, it's a little oversaturated. There's some weird stuff going on. there.
And there's tiers of them. And for those that don't know, depending on how the girl dresses, depends on how they serve booze or something like that. And, it goes that way. So if alcohol is really important, you might get
about strip clubs.
yeah, it's like,
They do
it's
that in a lot of places. Vegas is like that too. If they're if they're full nude, they can't have alcohol. If they're just topless, they can. Except there's apparently 1 or 2 places that got grandfathered in. They could be full nude and have alcohol. I don't remember what they are.
There's like a piece of fabric that's about as big as a Post-it note.
It really makes no difference. I don't understand it.
I mean, come on. Like the tag in the thong is the biggest piece of fabric.
But we're not huge drinkers anyway, as I say, as I'm drinking beer.
Which, by the way, the strip club of choice in Tampa. If anybody's going to Tampa and is interested in a strip club, it's 2001 Odyssey.
Odyssey, yeah.
That's the way to go. That's the one with the spaceship on top.
Never had a bad time there, I'll admit.
Yeah, and it's I guess it's full nude, full contact, but they're not allowed to serve alcohol. So next door is Riveters. And it's just a normal restaurant like you go out of fast style, American style. Freaking fantastic food. They've got live entertainment. Yeah.
I was gonna say half of it is like an outdoor bar.
It's
with
amazing.
Tables and live entertainment, and then the other half is like a sit down restaurant. And I swear it's mainstream now. Like people are there with their kids and stuff.
21-year-old Steve would have had just a great trip over there.
Oh my God.
Of course, I wouldn't have had any money. You know, I'd have had to put a lap dance on layaway or something.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That Rivals paycheck deja vu didn't go very far.
Yeah.
But they do have good food. I'm telling you, that restaurant is nice.
It's called Riveters, and this whole theme is Rosie the Riveter, like from World War II. Yeah. So there's all like plane memorabilia and posters from a period of time. It's pretty cool. It really is.
Yeah. And 3 feet of cinder block. There's a girl shaking her bare bands.
You get a band, you can walk back and forth between them. It's good times.
You get a band, you can go back and forth. So,
Oh my God.
Just in case anybody's going to visit, we're helping you out. So,
sweet Jesus.
You come to Tampa.
it's fantastic.
Tell your wife you're just going to go grab a beer at Riveters real quick.
Jesus.
Have a good night.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah. Next time you go to Naples, Corey, come up and tell them you're gonna meet me and Jeb in Tampa one night.
Lord.
Oh Lord.
Hope Laura doesn't listen to this show, so she doesn't know why. When I come back home with glitter all over me, she's gonna wonder what the hell's going on.
Cassidy, Jake has been noticeably quiet during all of this. I will say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good for him. Yeah. The voice of God's not around either. Thank goodness.
Which, by the way, I have permission from Becky to do this. So I'm not doing anything wrong. And I'm going with her brother. So
yeah, I was gonna say we're not wild and crazy. We go early, we leave early. It's nothing.
No joke. Whenever we get there, is like 2 hours before the early shift gets off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's when you get the girls that are just tired. They just sit and talk to you.
We are back at like 10:30 at night, and it's an hour drive to get to Tampa from where we live. We do not mess around. We are complete old people.
It's weird, yes, but fun.
So pitiful.
Yeah.
It's I don't know when it happened, but it was like let's get out of here. It's 10 o'clock. It's late.
Yeah,
you're like falling asleep. The girls
is it? Yeah,
falling asleep. You're like, oh.
Is this New Year's Eve? What's going on?
Lord.
Oh yeah.
So Louise. Oh God. Yeah, Cassie. That's yeah. That's what you're dealing with.
By the way, another thing that proves how old I am from my show, I ordered I spent way too much money on some customized windscreens for my microphone. It's going to be red and say Locked On Ole Miss, and like you face it towards the camera.
Oh, cool.
It could be one of those like oversized ones that you see in like Rookie of the Year, which is like
no, it's going to be pretty much like this, maybe a little bit longer.
It's like sticking out to here. You're like,
can't even see my mic.
But yeah, that lets you know where my mind is at the moment. It's like I can't wait for this customized windscreen to get here. Wow.
We go from strip clubs to windscreens.
Priorities get weird when you're old, man.
Win play show.
I got
We'll
really
have-
excited about this piece right here.
Is that Macho Man Randy Savage?
It is, and it says
That's
Yeah.
what I
"Green
thought.
will rise to the top."
Mhm.
The cream. Oh,
Rise
Yeah.
to the top, oh yeah. And then Laura got me when I started Locked on Vandy for Christmas. She got me this, which is just a piece of, which is the V cut out in like a 3D printer.
okay.
That's cool.
And then she got me that, which says Anchor Down.
Okay.
That's cool.
And she got me a Georgia one too. That, hold on. This.
Okay.
I want to play checkers on that now.
So that,
Oh,
So
what's
this year I can literally say Lane Kiffin's playing chess while you're playing checkers.
Mhm.
you can, yeah. So I have to so a little behind the velvet rope here when I do my shows, because like I'm everywhere. I do like a NASCAR pit crew change of the scenery back there.
Let's
But-
see.
Fun.
That's cool.
I want to bring up Locked On Vandy and see what Corey's been up to.
Well, tonight,
Oh,
so here's what I was up to tonight. I'm going to talk about a possible 2-quarterback system and how that could work for Vandy, because it's not looking like Nate Johnson's going to be the guy. And then I had it all like lined up with like that and some like recruiting stuff to like fill. And then Mark Byington got a transfer out of the transfer portal today, at 6:30 tonight. So
Nice.
that goes to number one, and everything else pushes down.
Hey, if you're and all these 241 people that are watching the show right now, go to Locked On Vandy on YouTube and subscribe, please. He's at 248 subscriptions. Let's get him over 250 tonight.
Yeah.
That'd be
Let's
awesome.
do it.
No.
That would be awesome.
I've already subscribed, so I can't do it.
And me too.
So Jeb, I'm going to need you. So you got two choices, Jeb. Either you produce episode 1 of your movie review, or you create, what's the math here? 800 Google accounts and subscribe to Locked On Vandy so I can get to 1,000.
Good Lord.
Is that all? Is that all he has to do?
That's it.
Golly.
That's,
Easy.
I don't know. I maybe could do 200 or 300, but I don't know if I can get past that.
Can you imagine? You're sitting there on like 600. You're just like,
Yeah. After a while, like I forgot my password on the very first one I made.
run out of names.
Yeah.
I already managed 2 Gmail accounts. That's as much as I can handle.
Yeah.
So-
I got 3.
Yeah, I'm old too.
Mm.
I got Bleav In Dogs, my main Gmail, and my school YouTube channel Gmail that I run all my school stuff out of.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a bunch.
It's a lot.
Well, anyway, before we get out of here, since we went off the rails in the middle,
We still got like 15 minutes.
yeah, I interviewed Jake Crane today. About 30 minutes. And anybody that wants to check that out, it'll be free on Sunday morning.
Okay.
Anybody that wants to check it out now, they can subscribe and join and give a membership on my site. But I asked him the question, what's the deal with the media kind of living in blissful ignorance and wanting to cover anything but the actual game of football that's happening? And is it just blissful ignorance, them not knowing what they're seeing, so they want to talk about anything else than the game? Well, first of all, he took a shot at Charlie 5. And for those that that has no idea what I'm talking about, he's a guy from Auburn that debated Jake Crane. And Jake Crane was like, well, before we start this, we need to make sure that you know the basics. Just like, good God, man, just lowered the hammer on this guy. And he did mention,
Nice.
Kevin
Hey,
Bohannon.
What's up, Kevin?
Man?
Hadn't heard from you in ages. Hope you're doing well, brother.
Oh, well, dude,
Yeah.
we should shoehorn you in here.
But he mentioned that the media is doing all of this just because they don't know what they're talking about. And it's up to people that are educated, like Corey, like me, like Jake, like Jeb, like Jake Crane,
Israel.
to kind of be a Rosetta Stone for what we're actually seeing in the game, because we do watch a little bit of a different of a football game than the average Joe fan.
Right.
You know, you're looking at not the line, or like one of my favorite things to do is to watch the linebackers in a game, regardless, because if the linebackers are struggling, the offense on the other side is probably really clicking. And that's kind of a good warning. Other people just do the trenches, but everybody can kind of tell when the offensive lineman is just kind of man-childing the defensive line. So, but I think it was interesting that you got a whole bunch of people that are tasked with talking football that don't want to talk football because they don't want to be exposed as a fraud.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that a lot. So like and then those are the ones that are loudest. Those like shows like this. I mean, we got 250 viewers on our live stream now, so we're growing. We're number one.
Yeah.
On, what's it called? Feed
Oh,
spot. Yeah,
No,
feed
number
spot.
3.
We're number
Number
3 on feed spot.
The American Feed Store, was it?
The American Feet Store. What?
Feed. We're
Co-op, I don't know.
we're number 1 in your mom's eyes. So
Oh God.
Oh.
that's the collective, like the audience, like your mom.
I'm not touching that.
So anyway, but no, in all seriousness, like shows like this, like don't quite get the shine because like we're not the, those guys have followings. Those guys are journalists. Those guys, like people know those guys. So they take that as gospel. Rivals did this, which I think set some things in motion where they hired journalists instead of actual football analysts to do recruiting rankings. And I don't think that was the move. There was a few football guys in there. So like the Midwest was always on lockdown with Josh Himholt and, I thought Mike Farrell did a pretty good job, but for the most part, like it was just kind of hit or miss because you had just journalism guys. You didn't have anybody really kind of breaking down what you're seeing. And so guys like us, we're kind of like chilling in the cut here, waiting for opportunity for someone to say, hey, if you want real football talk, listen to these guys, follow these guys along because they know. Like Steve's been in the Manning Center. Steve is, Steve has seen football from Red Grange to Jackson Dart. Jake and Stacey do a tremendous job with Live, and I'm just about everywhere else with every other team except Mississippi State.
Mississippi State, the only one without a Locked On show. By the way, Locked On is getting ready to start its own SEC network potentially in the next 6 months or so.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Wait, huh?
To where all the SEC shows are programming it, so all 16 of us, in place of, I don't know, competing with the SEC network. So you'll get my show, you'll get all of our shows, Locked On SEC, Locked On College Football. There'll probably be some sort of another national show that they do, like recruiting wise and all that, but it'll just air twice a day, basically, and just on a cycle. But it's a way that you're going to be able to get the stories that you actually want. And without, all you ain't played nobody, Paul, without that.
Yeah.
And so it should be interesting.
That should be interesting. They should get us to do like.
I was going to say, see, we got 2 guys inside Locked On now. I mean, get Locked On SEC at the dark.
I'm still brand new.
Let's
I got to get. If I get to 1,000, I'll probably have a little more pull.
Yeah.
I got to get to Steve's level.
If you get to my level, I'm just saying.
If you get to Steve's level with Vandy,
I will have
you've done something.
I will have taken over Nashville.
They'll build a statue for you.
My goal is to take over Nashville. That's my
they
goal.
just only refer to Corey as the GOAT.
Right.
Yeah, I'll get a goat statue put somewhere over here. Just a big bronze gold goat statue.
Yeah.
No, it's got to be gold. 14 karat gold, of course.
Oh man.
Because it's Vandy, it could be gold, right? So yeah, no, Jake, you can speak to this, but like I wish, like I try to look for, with Bleav In Georgia Dawgs, with it being in such a saturated market, I'm trying to rack my brain on trying to find a niche that Israel and I can kind of sneak into and say, there's no other Georgia show doing
Right.
I'm still trying to find that, because our perspective, if people would just like come to our perspective, we're two coaches talking.
You've got the fake coach that breaks down film.
Yeah, you see, that's he has a following, so like we can't do that really. And then you got all the former players, so like the former player angle is kind of dead. So we've got to want to get Israel to light his farts on fire or something. We got to figure something out.
You got to do your own thing. Find your own thing.
Yeah, we got to find it, and we got to find what we do best and what we can say. Okay, you're not going to find any other Georgia show that does this.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
There is not a single Ole Miss podcast that does what I do.
Mm-mm. That's why,
and they can't. Yeah, and they can't do what I do, and they won't do what I do.
Yeah, because
they don't have time. Yeah, they don't have time.
Yeah, you're just everywhere. My 23 to 25 year old dating philosophy is what Steve is actually doing with his podcast. And see, it works, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
It works.
My whole thing is, just so everybody knows, I decided when I first started doing this, I want it to appear like I was everywhere. Not that I was everywhere. I want it to appear like I was everywhere to other people. That is the image that I wanted to put out, to being the hardest working person on some type of a beat or whatever. And nobody else wants to do that, because to honestly catch me, the way I figured this out, you have to either be a bad father, a bad husband, or you have to be bad at your job if you want to devote the time enough to take me down.
Right.
And nobody is going to want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I stream this to the Bleav In Georgia Dawgs channel, because that's my Wednesday content. Because Georgia is on the forefront of a lot of things SEC. So we end up doing a lot of Georgia content on this show because of that. So I just got to figure out how I'm going to structure my week and, get Israel in there as much as possible. I might have a model where I do a few shows and then I feature I do everything leading up to the show with Israel. So I do a bunch of short stuff leading up to hey, we're going to introduce these topics and we're going to, and then boom, Israel and I do our thing. And then, that's what we roll with, and do some YouTube shorts. And that might happen.
By the way,
what is it?
Is that a trash panda?
I don't know what that is.
No.
Looks like is that oh
Steery Seawolves.
Mm-hmm.
Is their throwback logo. Yeah, they sent that to me.
That's cool.
A sea wolf and a lake.
That's how I know that I've made it. A podcast in little old Mississippi about Ole Miss football is getting stuff from a Detroit Tigers organization in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, really?
Sent you that?
Steve needs to start locked on Detroit Tigers.
Wait, they sent you that?
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
And I also have this. I don't know if I showed you this last week.
Alkaline.
Yeah, my Alkaline ball.
Yeah. They're like, man, I tried to get the Carolina Disco Turkeys to send me something. It almost worked. They did interact with me.
That's cool.
What we need to do on this show, and it would kind of fit, and I think we could make it work during their off season. So maybe in January or so, we need to start trying to press for the Savannah Bananas.
I agree.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
To where there's some sort of a presence on our show.
Yeah,
because all their games are on YouTube now, so we can watch them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Drake Toll is the voice of the party animals.
Oh.
He calls basically like the Washington Generals to the Harlem Globetrotters. That's who the Savannah Bananas always play, as the party animals. Well, the voice of them is Drake Toll, and he was the host of Locked On College Football Preview this past fall, and is the host of Locked On Big 12.
Oh, interesting.
Uh-huh. So that's probably an in.
Right.
Yeah. Probably so.
That'd be fun.
Maybe just every now and then, just get a Savannah Banana on and interview them on here.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
The 5-shot
Yes.
looks like you got some building to do.
Oh, this is a 5-shot. This is right here.
Where's
the fifth guy go?
Right here. We're to the right of Corey. Because that's where Becky was whenever the logo was up.
Is it that little box?
Yes.
The little tiny box?
Yeah.
Our guest is going to be in a tiny box?
No, you are.
It's like one of us is sacrificed. That's fine.
Yeah. It'll be one of us that is in that box. They'll be in a real one.
Right.
What I might do is make like a big box over here to where you can actually see them, and then stack 4 of us next to it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what I would do. Or we could Brady Bunch and go 4 quarters. Box in the
All
middle.
around him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a question from Steve. Yeah.
I'm waiting to see if Cassidy jumps the gun.
Oh yeah. 2 minutes, Corey. No. We'll see.
Cassidy goes 2 minutes at 8:35. We're talking.
Take care of this kid.
Mm-hmm.
I need my husband back.
We're talking strip clubs, and she's like, "All right, 2 minutes, Corey."
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
258 people watching this show.
Hell yeah!
Thank you.
You guys subscribe to Bleav In Georgia Dawgs and Locked On Vandy.
Thank you all for watching and listening. I don't know why you are, but thank you.
I'm excited about Calipari going to Arkansas.
They're excited about that. The Tampa strip club scene, there obviously was in on that. The Savannah Bananas, they're all over.
They're laser focused on that. The Erie Seawolves.
Which, by the way, I do want to say I'm sorry to you guys. My wife would not do it because I wanted her to ask her mom about it, about Spencer Strider.
Oh yeah.
And Becky would not do it.
Oh man.
But I am sorry about that. But my whole thing about pitchers' arm injuries, they're wanting to bitch about the pitch clock. No, it's you're going up there every pitch trying to throw the ball 103 miles an hour. If Nolan Ryan would have done that, and he could have thrown 103 miles an hour, he had a bit. If he'd have done that, he would have blown out his arm too.
But so somebody did it. So Jake, before you do that, somebody did like a freeze frame of like the arm slot, like Nolan Ryan's like up here and Strider's like down here.
Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of pressure. But did I don't remember ever hearing Tom Glavine or Greg Maddux, anybody like that, having Tommy John surgery. I may be wrong on
Greg, Major League Baseball needs to get back to pitching and not throwing.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, Maddux.
Yeah.
Greg Maddux was the greatest pitcher ever and threw the ball 89 miles an hour and you couldn't hit it.
Yep.
He could tell you where he was going to throw it and you still couldn't hit it.
Analytics is killing baseball.
Yeah, his control was just so amazing.
It was.
I don't think he threw. I don't think anything he threw that didn't move. There was nothing he threw that didn't move.
Yeah, nothing was straight. Now you see a 4-seam fastball and it's just a straight line.
Yeah.
Honey, I ever tell you you're as purty as Greg Maddux?
Hey, did you guys see the Sherwin-Williams commercial with Greg Maddux where they hire him to paint a house and all he did was paint the corners?
Paint the corners, yes. Yeah.
Like, this looks great, but all he did was paint the corners.
That's good.
And Maddux is sitting there, Greg Maddux sitting there like admiring his work. He's like,
yeah.
Proud of himself. It's the corners.
That's so good.
Yeah.
They just want to throw a fastball, try to get it by you. But my thing is, if once they catch up to it and knock it 500 feet out of the ballpark, what's your go-to pitch then? Because really everybody's arsenal is a fastball. Just throw it as hard as you can. That's it.
You're starting to see lefties get back to pitching now a little bit. Like the lefties have kind of figured out, okay, I can't throw 90-something, 98 by you all the time. So I got to get a little crafty.
Just saying.
Okay, Cassidy. Okay. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay. All right, here we go. Countdown. All right. I got the official 2 minutes from Jake. Here we go. So, all 264 of you, thank you for listening. It's the SEC After Dark podcast. We couldn't do it without you guys. Find us wherever you find your podcast. Rate us on iTunes. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. Find us on social media. Find all of us on social media, starting with the Stephen Willis and at Locked On Ole Miss on X. You can find Jake Thomas at Tide Talk Live, at Jake Thomas TTS. Him and Stacey do a phenomenal job with that show. So if you want some good Bama content, that's the place to go. Jeb, if you want some 80s movies reviews, eventually you're going to get it. Don't know when, but you're going to get it.
I don't know if we're going to get that before 1923 season 2. That is what we're dealing with right now. 1923 season 2 or Jake doing a podcast on 80s movies. I don't know.
Well, I was going to do it in late July, but now I know I'm going to be playing NCAA. So
you better get on it now.
Yeah.
So
get a couple out.
I think Steve is going to do a show on Locked On Ole Miss about cats and gun safety before you do a movie.
Yeah.
So you better get on your horse because Steve's tomorrow's. I hate to spoil your episode for tomorrow about cats and gun safety. Apologies. My apologies. Well,
hey, I did it on like Damian Martinez, the running back from Oregon State. I did a segment about him tomorrow. Yeah,
that's cool.
Not a bad pickup there. So, and then also you can catch me. I'm kind of everywhere, but I'm across the board instead of Steve's like everywhere, like in one thing, but he's everywhere. I'm like everywhere, truly everywhere. I think I represent just about every team in college football at this point. So, Locked On Ole Miss is a great show. Locked On Vandy is even better. That's where I am. Bleav In Dawgs. You need to check both of those out. I book in the SEC first.
I will try not to be offended by that.
Yeah, that sounds like a shot, Corey.
I'm just it's just me trying to because I said you can find me on Locked On Ole Miss, which is not true at all. You can find me on a few episodes as a guest, but in all seriousness, Steve is kicking complete ass on Locked On Ole Miss.
Absolutely.
I'm the daddy.
Yes. If you don't believe me, Google it.
Yeah, Google Ole Miss Podcast. You'll see me.
Type it. I'm gonna do a vanity Google search.
AGD.
See what I get. So yeah, welcome Robert Reynolds. That's another another show here on the old SEC After Dark network sphere thing. So anyway,
SEC conference.
Corey, you did not hit 2 minutes.
I went way over. I always do. So
yeah,
find us every Wednesday, SEC After Dark. We'll see you back here next week with some more fun, maybe some more strip clubs. I don't know. It's always off the rails.
Same one.
I'm off.
Anyway, but until then, go Dogs, anchor down, and we'll see you back here next week.
Hotty toddy.
go Vols.